Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you are in the world and whatever time of day it is. It is Saturday morning here. It is currently 10 to 8 in the morning. I've just got my morning coffee, woken up and thinking about what I'm going to be doing for today. So, today's video, I am going to be breaking down the key steps and processes that I am currently going through to prepare for leaving to go out to the UAE to become a new teacher. Okay, regardless of whether you're moving out abroad to teach or for other work-related purposes, there are certain steps that you need to go through to prepare for that transition. But if you are looking at teaching abroad, this video is perfect for you because there's lots of things that you need to do, both with the school but also with your own personal life and wherever you live, and it's just a process. So I'm going to take you through it today, talk a little bit about what I've been doing, talk through some of the paperwork that you need to get ready, because there are more paperwork than I even thought that I needed to fill out. But yeah, so I'm going to talk about that. And just give you a bit of an update, really. So there we go. If you enjoy this video, please hit the like button. If you want to know anything more about what I'm doing to prepare to go abroad, comment down below. Or if you've got any questions about how I got my job and things like that, comment down below. I did do a video recently. It was quite a long one, me just chatting to the camera, but the last video I put up was all about me getting my announcement and getting a job abroad. So yeah, but all right, enough rambling. Let's get into the video. Okay, so currently, and I'm just going to turn the lights on. Apologies for the washing machine, but it is Saturday morning here. I've got chores to do. All right, so the biggest thing that I'm doing at the moment is clearing out my flat. So not so long ago, there were pictures all along the wall. I had a big mirror here. I had like a bookshelf thing here that stored stuff on. And therefore now all of like my bottles of alcohol and stuff and books are in the window. My dining room table is basically constantly looking like this. I've got things for the charity shop that are down here, and my flat is just looking like a bit of a bombshell. That's like, for me at least, the biggest thing to do at the moment. I've got all the paperwork done, but tidying and clearing out my flat is important because it's a longer job than you expect. I have sort of tidied and cleared my wardrobe, including all of my stuff in here, and I have not binned, but been selective with the clothes that I'm keeping because, well, I'm moving out to the UAE, right? It's a lot hotter than it is in this drizzly, wet country. So I've had to be cautious and aware of like big, thick hoodies and stuff because I'm just not going to need them. My bed, well, is now just a mattress on the floor because I sold my bed and I've only got one bedside table now because I sold the other one. My bathrooms, that's like the one area of my flat that I've not really been able to do too much to. One, because I don't really have that much in there other than toiletries, and two, well, they're only toiletries, so I'm going to be taking them all with me, and man needs to still keep his teeth clean and wash himself between now and when I leave. Spare bedroom is basically a storing area. I've got like decorating stuff, suitcases, bits that I don't need, all of like my mirrors and stuff from the living room, obviously my laundry horse. The wardrobe in here is basically empty completely now, so there we go. And I've even started, excuse the noise, clearing out my cupboards in the kitchen. Obviously not the food, but like that's pretty much empty now apart from coffee. That's also pretty much empty now. I've got like one bowl and a plate to eat because I got rid of all of that. Even my pots and pans, I've basically got rid of most of it except for like the core things that I need. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing in my flat. I am going to talk about paperwork because there is a lot of it. Yeah. Oh, okay, paperwork. I'm going to try and keep this brief because I have a tendency to talk too much in videos. I'm very aware. It's just personality, right? Anyway, so paperwork. When you first get offered the job, and it's the same within the UK or anywhere around the world, you should get a letter of, or an offer letter offering you the job, which I did get. And then shortly after that, you should get like some form of contract which details what you're getting. Now, if you move out to the UAE, and I don't know about the rest of the world, but obviously I've got a job in a place called Al Ain in Abu Dhabi, which is like an inland oasis, absolutely stunning place. So I got a job there, but obviously if you're around the world, I can't comment because obviously I've not got a job there. But they will send you like the details of your package. So you get a package because there are lots of benefits. Obviously, you've got the tax-free wage in the UAE. You've got free accommodation that's given to you, flights home. There's a whole range of things, health insurance, that gets offered, and that will obviously be within your contract. So you get that. First thing you obviously need to do is check it to make sure you're happy with what you're being paid and what you're being offered. Sign it. Once you've signed it, they then send you everything else. And there's quite a few documents. Now, for the most part, these documents are pretty easy to process. It's a case of reading them through, whacking a signature at the end, and popping it back over. There are a few things that take a little bit more effort, but for the most part, they are fairly simple. So there's things like, obviously, all your details. So you need to put in who you are, where you're from, your address, all your contact details, any emergency care that they need to think about, who your family is in case of emergencies, death beneficiaries in case the worst happens, right? So there's lots of things like that are really, really simple. They take 5 or so minutes to fill out, and then you pop them back over, and the job's a good one. The things that take a little bit longer, I think it's the death beneficiary. You do need a witness to witness you sign it, so you need to take that to someone that can do that. I took mine into work and got a colleague of mine to do it. You need to get a police sort of certificate. That doesn't take too long, couple of weeks, but it does cost, in the UK, it costs about £50. I think that's how much I paid for it. And it's literally just a police report that tells you if you've got any police reports on record, basically. And obviously, they need to know that because you're going to be teaching out there, and that's what they need to know. So you need that. The biggest thing, paperwork-wise, is you need to get all of your documents attested, your important documents. So the attestation process is basically where a solicitor or a lawyer looks over your documents and legitimizes them, okay? And if you're moving abroad, even though you might go to a legitimate university in the UK or wherever it is you're from, you need to get them legitimized because that university and that sort of education body is not necessarily recognized around the world. So basically, you send it off, it gets stamped by a solicitor who checks them to make sure that they're authentic and they're real. Then it goes to your embassy that will stamp it, and then the embassy of the country you're moving to. So in my case, the solicitor signed it, it then went to the UK government, the embassy, they pop a stamp on it, and then it went to the UAE embassy, who also popped a stamp on it too. And your certificates come back with lots of bits of paper on and stamps and all sorts of things like that. Kind of looks a bit like a visa, if ever you've had one of those in your passport. Now, you can do this in 2 ways. The first way is to get it stamped on your original copies, which I did get done. And the second way is to get a copy. So you basically photocopy your documents, and then you send those off instead. I chose to get the originals done. I have heard that it's often better to get copies done because if you decide to move to a different country, you then need to get copies done anyway. So that's just something to bear in mind. That is the most expensive thing that you need to prepare for while you're in the UK, unless you've got houses to sell and things like that, because you get charged per document, and you get charged for all of like the sending it out there, bringing it back. I paid just over £500 to get 3 certificates attested. If you are married, you need to get your marriage certificate attested, and if you've got children, you need birth certificates doing as well. There may well be others that you need to get attested too. It really depends on how many qualifications you've got, but check with your school if you get a job at a school, and they will let you know. That's pretty much it for like complicated bits of paperwork that you need doing. Like I say, there is a long list of bits of paperwork that they send you, but those sort of two of the main things, the police report and the attestation. And then the last thing that you need to do, and again, I don't know if this is the same for every country, but after you've done that, you then need to complete a profile on basically the government's website. So they will have, so in Abu Dhabi, they have ADEC, which is the Abu Dhabi Department of Education. They send you basically a link which you have to sign into, and you basically create an online profile. You upload all of the documents that they want to see, which is basically all the ones I've just listed. Fill out all your information, things like your CV, they want to see all that kind of stuff, and then they basically have to accept it. they communicate with you and they communicate with the school, and once they've accepted it, well, you can work there. If they don't accept it, well, then you can't. It's pretty simple, right? It's basically the government giving the school the heads up to say, yep, you can employ this person. And that takes a little bit of time. Obviously, I have applied for this job and have been offered this job midway through COVID-19. So, not as ideal, but it's been a fairly smooth process. You just have to bite your tongue in some cases and just be patient. But there we go. So that's paperwork. Alexa, what is the current temperature in Al Ain, Abu Dhabi?
Right now, in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, it's 37 degrees Celsius.
Alexa, add sun cream to my shopping list. The other thing that I would recommend is to get yourself some kind of guidebook. Now, this is something that a friend of mine at work gave me, which was very kind of her. And it's got a little section on where I'm going, but it talks about the UAE in general. And to just do your research before you go out. Now, obviously, specifically to the UAE, it is a Muslim country. There are certain things that are more frowned upon and some things that are straight out illegal in comparison to other parts of the world. So you have to be very careful with your consumption of alcohol, which is a given. There are certain marriage and relationship things that you need to be very aware of because of the religion and because of the culture. So getting yourself a guidebook, doing some research is really important because you don't want to get yourself in trouble. So that leads me to what I've got left to do now. So I'm pretty good for buying of clothes. I have been shopping and been a bit cheeky and have bought a few items ready for when I go out there. Like I said, and like you heard Alexa say a minute ago, it is stinking hot in Al Ain, Abu Dhabi. I think it's a little bit cooler on the coast because of the coastal air, but I am inland and so it's going to be very hot and very dry, which I'm happy with, but the temperatures can get up to like high 40s, which I don't think I've ever actually experienced before. So that should be a new one on me. Lots of shorts, lots of sun cream. Yeah. What else do I need to prepare for? The flat, like I say, it still has certain things that I need to be doing. My sister is taking the sofa. My parents are taking my dining room table. So I don't need to worry about those. Otherwise, I would obviously have to sell them. I've got to, with my parents, tidy all the flat up and splash some paint over some of the walls to decorate because they are going to be renting the apartment on. And I need to sell my car, but I have looked at WeBuyAnyCar.com and they are prepared to offer me a good amount of money for it if I can't sell it privately. But I'm going to try and sell it privately because I know I can make more money from it. So that is one really big thing that I've ticked off my list because that was a concern that I would be stuck with a car that I would be unable to sell. But I'm able to sell it, which is great. The other thing that hopefully your school will do for you is they will put you in contact with the relevant people to support you in the transition. Now, I'm obviously not going to release what school I've got a job at or any of the details about my school for obvious reasons, but my new school has been superb in giving me information when I need it, up-to-date information, and supporting me through the whole process. I have been put in a group chat with all of the other new members of staff of the school, and so we've been able to support each other and offer any guidance for any issues in the preparation process, which is lovely. I've also been put in contact with my new year group sort of teachers and head of year, and tomorrow I am going to be meeting up with them virtually via Zoom to have a discussion about next year and to introduce myself and get to know my team a bit more, which is amazing. And yeah, we've been put in contact with buddies so that when we first go out there, we've got a person, a hub, I suppose, person to go to if we struggle with anything or we need any advice. And that's really nice. I found that that's been really useful for little things. I mean, I've asked many questions to the point where I've stopped asking questions now because I don't want to be that person. And this chap that I have been put in contact with, I just said, what do I need to know that I wouldn't assume already? Like, is there anything that when you get to the UAE, you go, I didn't expect I'd need that? And the main things that he said were obviously sun cream. Now, that was a little bit of a joke earlier, but he did say that sun cream is quite expensive out in the UAE, and as you can tell from my complexion, sun cream is something that I almost need shares in. So I will be buying plenty of sun cream before I go out there because apparently it's just more expensive and it's more cost effective to buy and top up loads before you go out. TV, I'm not much of a TV watcher, but he said that, you know, getting yourself like a Prime TV stick would be beneficial. And obviously I asked about clothing, because while I know it's roasting hot out there, in some countries it's hot during the day and ice cold during the night. But it guided me that is not the case in Elaine. So there we go. But yeah, so you should be well supported by your school, and I have had a very positive experience. But what I would say to wrap this video up is things in different countries go at a different speed to what you might be used to. Now that might either be that they go quicker than you used to, or that might be slower. So patience really is key in this process. As long as you do your bit in a timely fashion, you'll be fine. So as soon as I got the paperwork through, apart from the bits like the apostle and the police stuff that I had to wait for, I basically made it my job to get it done straight away. And so I had finished it and typed it all up and sent it back within days, almost the same day in some cases that I got they got it. And I wrote down and I checked off all of the documents that I'd completed and sent back and things like that. So yeah, but be patient. I'm due to find out when I'm going to fly in the next week or so. But again, with COVID, who knows? So yeah, there we go, guys. All right, I'm going to wrap the video up now before it gets too long again. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of me talking about this. And if you're a new teacher or you're looking at teaching abroad, there you go. That's where I'm at with moving. And yeah, I will keep you updated, as I said in the previous video. If you haven't already seen that, go over and check it out, where I talk about why I've decided to come out and teach in the UAE. And yeah, I'm going to end it here. See you guys soon. Peace out.